which we talk about Cannonier, and he just had a fight booked against Mr. Wine Drinker himself, Paulo Costa. I love that this is another great fight that was just announced, and I don't know, off the top of my head, I really don't know. I don't have a pick. I couldn't make a pick right now. Like normally I see these fights and I instantly can kind of think of a pick or how I see it going. And I really don't. I don't know. Like I think Cannonier early on in the Whitaker fight looked rough, but then he almost, he kind of turned the tides at the end of that fight and looked really, really good. He also had a broken arm, I believe, in that fight. So I can't be out on Cannonier.
Do you rate Paulo Costa? See, I don't rate him at all.
I don't think
bodybuilder.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's tough. Like I feel like I don't want to say I'm all out on Paulo Costa, but it's. So go ahead, take me through it because I'm interested.
I thought he lost to I thought he lost to Yoel, and Yoel didn't look that great in that fight. All the highlights that people ever show me from that fight is just the head kick he landed against him. But if you watch the rest of it, Yoel drops him so many more times, and he's just a bodybuilder with a blitz. That's all he is, and it got shown against Israel. I know Israel's done it to everyone, but he has no footwork. He gasses very quickly, and when people say, "Oh, but he didn't gas in this fight," because the other guy gassed as well. It's a stalemate. I think if he got shown, when he fought Uriah Hall, he beat Uriah Hall. Watch the first 3 minutes of that fight. Uriah pick him apart. Now, someone better than Uriah, which is plenty of fish. I think Kelvin Gastelum would beat up Paulo Costa. I think Cannonier is going to whoop him. I think Robert beats him easily. Darren beats him. I think everyone beats. In 2 years' time, we're going to see Paulo Costa with a record of 14-4, 14-5. Like do you know what I mean? It's going to be the downhill spiral for me personally. I really don't rate him. I think he's got a good blitz, and I think if you get caught by him, he will punish you. But I think any smart fighter that's going to wear on him, press him against the cage, anything like that, any grinding effect at all, which they all can do, all can manage, any ground game, never seen him hit the deck. Yeah. No one's tested him there. They all just kind of stand in the pocket and wait for him to flex his pecs and swing his sandbags, but that's it. I don't see how he beats Cannonier unless he just clips him. It's going to be a lucky punch kind of thing. Only in my head, which I could be completely naive, and after this fight could be like, I'm back on the Costa train. But he's just so cringy. I just hate it. Like, much like Aaron doesn't like that. I just hate Paulo. I just can't stand him. He's just cringy,
I don't like Paulo Costa either. So, I mean, I would love to see Cannonier finish him. I think it'd be awesome. I think it'd be great. And Cannonier, I mean, his resume is crazy. He's lost to Whitaker, Dominic Reyes, Jan Blachowicz, Glover Teixeira, which people forget he was a light heavyweight and a heavyweight. So he's dropped down immensely. He's looked great in this division, but I mean, TKO Jack Hermanson then automatically skyrockets to Robert Whitaker, which again, he lost the fight unanimous decision. Whitaker looked great.
Decision.
But yeah, and again, later on in that fight, Cannonier kind of started turning the tides. Like, I think that Cannonier kind of came in, a little underwhelming in the beginning of that fight, and it took him 4 rounds, and maybe his coach saying, like, listen, dude, like, you need to get a finish, like, you need to figure this out. And then it kind of awoke the beast. I don't think he's going to have those jitters again that he did against Whitaker. That's not a title fight, nothing like that. I think that it's a prove-it fight. I tend to agree with you. I think, and
is it 3? Sorry to cut you off. Is it 3 rounds or 5 rounds? Is it a main event?
I think it's a main event on a fight night.
Then
so it's
definitely
5 rounds.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And Paulo Costa does have the gas issue. So I'm with you. I want to see Cannonier get the win. It's just tough. Like both of these guys, I think Cannonier has a better resume. You look at the guys that Costa beat, like you have like Johnny Hendricks. That was when Johnny Hendricks was shitty.
Fat trucker.
Yeah. So
when he wasn't shitty, he was juiced to the gills. So it's what ones you want.
Yeah. So I mean, and who knows? I could easily see Paulo Costa somehow backing out of this fight and somehow not fighting. I mean, it's just that seems to be a common theme with him as well. So I'm not very big on. I kind of don't rate Paulo Costa. I guess the more I talk about it, as you would say. Talk
yourself out of the fight, don't you, with him?
You do.
But again, some people are still high on him, and I hope we're proven right, because I hate him.
He's got that power. I mean, anything can happen in an MMA fight. So he does have the power that he could clip Cannonier one time, and that could be the end of it. But
I'll tell you who he's like for me. He's like a middleweight Jeremy Stevens.
Yes.
That's all he has. It's just the power, and that's it. You know, he used to be good when Jeremy at one time or another, when he uppercutted, I don't know if you've ever seen the fight. It's an old fight. Dos Anjos, I think it was his first or second fight in the UFC. Jeremy Stevens does a run up from one side of the octagon to the other and uppercuts him through the roof. And you see in slow motion, all of Dos Anjos' face just separate from his cranium.
Yeah.
And that's the time where he was ahead of the curve. Since then, I think he's like won 5 fights and lost 12 or 13. And it's going to be just because that's all he had. You can easily work out what Paulo's going to do. Do you know what I mean? He has the high kick, he has the body kick, and he has the blitz. That's it. Nothing else. That's all it is. Nice and easy in MMA to work out with only 3 things to think about. Whereas when you've got Robert, you've got 100 things to think about. With Darren, Robert said it himself, it's the most stressful fight he's ever been in. You know, he was having a heart attack thinking about what Darren's going to do next. If you fight Israel, you're going to die in the striking because he's so above you. And yeah, Cannonier's got so many tools, hasn't he?